Hey guys, it's Sajid Dan here, back again with another new video for you guys, and today I thought it'd be fun to talk about some of my favorite Xbox Live arcade games. Now, even though I don't buy much from the Xbox Live marketplace nowadays, I was a really huge fan of the Xbox Live arcade games back in the day. I've had my 360, believe it or not, for over 8 years, and I'm still using the same 360, it's still going strong, knock on wood somewhere. I gotta tell you guys, one of my favorite things to do back in the day was to browse the Xbox Live arcade section each week, checking out all the new game releases. And you gotta remember that at the time, the Xbox Live arcade was really the best way to find downloadable games at the time, at least with respects to the consoles, because Xbox Live arcade had just been around for so long, dating back all the way to the original Xbox. As a result, I always felt like back then a good majority of the awesome downloadable stuff was appearing on XBLA. Nowadays, obviously platforms like Steam and PSN have grown and come a very long way, and some of the once really awesome XBLA exclusives have been adapted to other systems and platforms over the years. But the games I'm going to be talking about today, I originally played on the Xbox Live arcade games many years ago. So what do you say we delve into some of my favorite Xbox Live arcade games? Okay, there's no way I can do this video without talking about one of my all-time favorite twin-stick shooters, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved. Geometry Wars initially began as just a little extra in another great bizarre creation game series, Project Gotham Racing. From there, Geometry Wars became a series of absurdly fun twin-stick shooters, and for me, it's all about the Retro Evolved games on XBLA. Geometry Wars at its core is all about the addictive arcade experience, where your main goal is to set and try and beat your high scores, as well as friends' high scores. You control movement of your ship on this rectangular playfield with the left analog stick, and control direction of your shooting with the right analog stick. And control wise, that's really all there is to it, besides having a limited number of bombs to use as well. Geometry Wars usually begins simple enough with small numbers of enemies at first, but always gradually builds up with tons of enemies and fast frantic gameplay later on. Enemies and how they act is based on their color. Certain enemies will follow you, others move in a straight line, some will break apart into smaller enemies, but the award for the most troll enemy in Geometry Wars goes to the green enemies for sure. Green enemies avoid your bullets like no tomorrow and move very sporadically. Now, if you play Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2, you have even more game modes to choose from, but I am still a really big fan of the traditional Evolve mode as well as sequence and waves. I have to mention the visuals though. Geometry Wars just looks incredible, from the simplistic vector graphic ship and enemies, to the bright neon colors, to the warping of the playfield, and the almost mind-numbing particle effects. Geometry Wars, when it really gets going, is a sight to behold. Complement the awesome visuals with a just as awesome techno-electronic soundtrack and spot-on controls. This all results in absurdly fun and satisfying time, and for me will always remain as one of my favorite twin-stick shooter experiences that I can happily revisit time and time again. Now, I think a lot of us are familiar with Hudson Soft's iconic Bomberman series, and Bomberman is fun to play on its own, but where the game series has always shined is playing competitively against others. So when I heard of an online capable Bomberman for Xbox Live, I was all over that back in the day. Granted, this wasn't the first time you could play Bomberman online, but with a large online service like Xbox Live, Bomberman Live was a blast to play online back in the day. In Bomberman Live, you could play with up to 8 players online with Xbox Live. The awesome part of this game was the insane amount of match customization. You could customize the gameplay to the style of Bomberman you like, from simple and classic to just pure chaos. For those not familiar with Bomberman, the basics are that you move around these battle arenas placing bombs that explode in a 4-way directional fashion to try and take out your opponents. Bomberman Live also features many various power-ups and power-downs, and other factors like revenge and my favorite, sudden death, where the arena slowly closes in as time is running out. All these elements combined turn matches into just pure chaotic fun. You also have various game modes and arenas to choose from, some of which have some really unique arena mechanics. One of my favorites though was this really silly stage where all the power-ups are in the middle and everyone at the beginning makes a mad dash to get in and grab as many power-ups as possible. I also thought it was really awesome to have customizable Bombermans. You could deck out your Bomberman in various collectible outfits, heads, hair, and hats. This was really fun for playing online. It gave each player some personality and was always fun to see what weird outfit combinations people came came up with online. With active online back in the day, absurd customization, fun arenas with unique mechanics, new game modes, this game was so much fun. I would love a new Bomberman game in the fashion of Bomberman Live again for today's current market, but the odds of that are slim to none with the wasting away of Hudson Soft and its IPs ever since being acquired by Konami. Poor Hudson Soft, I still love you guys. Oh man, Trials HD. So back in the day, Microsoft used to do this thing called the Xbox Live Summer of Arcade. Usually the games featured that made it on Summer of Arcade were a showcase of some true quality games. This was a game I discovered because of the Summer of Arcade, as well as some other great games along the way. Trials HD is a 2.5D racing game with a huge emphasis on physics. You will race your way through various courses ranging from okay, easy enough to oh my god, how is this even possible? You can accelerate and brake as well as control the angle of your bike. There are also checkpoints which will be your best friend in later courses, but it is all about mastering how and when to angle and move your bike, as well as finding the right amount of throttle and brake to give to traverse the various jumps, loops, and more complex obstacles. The higher difficulty courses are more about knowing how to be very technical with your movement, momentum, and speed, whereas easier difficulties are more about pure speed. The difficulty just feels really well thought out though, where it feels easy and welcoming enough, but gradually grows a bit more challenging and technical with each course, and the satisfaction that comes from clearing late game extreme courses is unlike anything else. Trials HD has lots of charm too. Explosions are plentiful and the ragdoll physics after crashing were always so hilarious and entertaining to me. There's even a course creator too, which is actually quite in depth, but I never really messed around with much. The extra skill games too were so much fun and helped break up the standard style of Trials gameplay. Trials HD is just such an exciting and fun game to play. Easy enough for anyone to jump into, but very hard to master. Okay, it's about time I finally get to talk about this game. Time to get nostalgic for a bit. Anyone who's an early adopter for 360 knows that early on, it was very hard to find new and robust experiences on XBLA for 400 Microsoft points. Most 400 Microsoft point games were usually just some port of a classic arcade game or something. Enter Marble Blast Ultra, a very early XBLA game which really gained a bit of a cult following at the time and still holds a core of dedicated fans. Unfortunately, Marble Blast Ultra has kind of slipped back into obscurity due to the game's sadly being delisted back in 2011. This is yet another reminder that with digital games, there's no guarantee they will be around forever with the complexity of licensing, contracts, and financial security. Marble Blast Ultra is a puzzle platformer where you try and navigate your marble as quickly as possible through the many stages by rolling and jumping your way through various obstacles to reach the goal. The levels range from beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Levels often feature various hazards like ice, wind, and bouncers, as well as other mechanics like moving platforms and gravity modifiers. There are also quite a few power-ups as well, which come into play and are often necessary to get through certain parts of levels, such as super speed, super jump, and mega marble. You also have a blast meter which gradually fills up and can be used to gain a bit more height in your jumps. Not all levels, but most will have you find and collect all the gems in the level in order to finish the level. The levels as a whole have so much variety and feel very thought out. It felt like from level to level, Marble Blast Ultra was always drastically changing things up and keeping things fresh and exciting. This is something that's important for games of this nature, as well as solid controls, and the controls in Marble Blast Ultra are just spot on. The physics just feel right. Marble Blast Ultra even had a multiplayer mode, which I remember playing quite a bit of back in the day. Marble Blast Ultra was clearly a game crafted with care, and is just simply put, tons of fun. Okay guys, and that'll do it for this video where I took a look back at some of my favorite Xbox Live Arcade games. There's so many more awesome Xbox Live Arcade games I own that I would love to mention, but nevertheless I had a lot of fun talking about and replaying and reminiscing about some of my favorite Xbox Live Arcade games with you guys. Maybe let me know some of your guys' favorite Xbox Live Arcade games, but as always I want to thank you guys for watching. Till next time, please take it easy guys. Bye guys.